This next game is Galg, or Zunosinken Galg, which means something along the lines of Brain Battleship Galg. This name is given on the box art. Released by DBsoft, presumably developed by these Team Biotechers people. This appears to be a rather simple-looking vertical shooter, but according to the box, it's actually an RPG, or rather an RPG shooter. Perhaps the best way I can describe this game is Tower of Druaga as a shooter. The object is to collect 100 parts. Here's one now, that little triangular thing. Once you've got all 100, you go to face the boss, whose name is Drag. There's about one part per level, so the game is quite long and quite repetitive. And just like Tower of Druaga, apparently this game is much more complicated and involved than it appears to be on the surface. As it turns out, there are numerous hidden things, various sorts of power-ups and objects, and all kinds of crazy things that you can find, but which you might not encounter during normal gameplay. There's various events you have to do that will actually trigger these things to appear. So while this game is virtually unknown in the West, in Japan apparently it's considered to be a major breakthrough title. Incredibly, there is even a game guide written and published about this in Japan, explaining how to find all the hidden secret things. If you were to sit down to play it though, it will mostly seem to be sort of like an average typical shooter of the day. In fact, a rather repetitious one. I played through I think about level 11, and the game doesn't really change that much. One interesting thing is that at the end of each level there'll be like a little split, and you can decide which path you want to go down. However, if you actually want to try to get the most out of this game and find all the hidden things, well, good luck. I don't believe that there's ever been an English language FAQ or walkthrough written for this game. As I mentioned, the game is really not at all well known in the West, so I couldn't really find out that much information about it. It's really not that hard to play. I mean, I blow myself up quite a bit in this little video I've made here, but in reality, when you're playing, you'll find it more kind of boring and a test of patience rather than actually difficult. It's hard to imagine anyone wanting to play through like all 100 levels and get 100 parts to finish the game. Still, the idea of a shooter with RPG elements built in is rather intriguing. Hopefully someday someone with more patience will explore this game in a bit more detail and find out more about it.